Well, we have a brand new update on the Eagles' current punter situation, or lack thereof. Could the punt god be coming to Philadelphia? Also, Derek Barnett, Jonathan Taylor, neither were traded. We'll see what Barnett and the Eagles are going to do coming up. And of course, Philadelphia made a couple of practice squad signings today, but lost some key players to other teams as well. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Wednesday. Remember, Wednesday Link Live tonight, 7 p.m. Myself, Josh Davis. Be there. Don't be late. Brand new giveaway happening tonight as well. Let's start with the news today, and that is today's practice. They're calling it preseason game number 4. At least that's what Lane Johnson said today in his post or pre-practice press conference. The team has done some Patriot installs, according to Gabriella Galati, but they will continue doing that today. And Lane Johnson went ahead and emphasized that this is kind of their final preseason game. They will treat today as a preseason game at practice to go ahead and get the team ready for 11 days from now. Yes, A.J. Brown numbers away from going ahead and traveling up to Gillette Stadium to take on Mac Jones and Bill Belichick's New England Patriots. Now, Philadelphia has a serious lack at the punter position right now, and while a lot of Eagle fans, including myself, have been clamoring for Matt Araiza, the punt god, to go ahead and come save the Eagles' punting needs after letting go of Aaron Sipos yesterday, Derek Gunn of Jacob Media, he says it's absolutely not going to happen.
And let me put something to rest right now for Eagles fans who keep bringing this name up. I said it yesterday, and I see few people are still mentioning it. Arazia is not coming through that door at the Eagles camp. They are not going to bring him in.
Okay.
And like I said, we all 32 teams have the opportunity to bring this guy in. Nobody's touching him right now, and I don't know why.
Now, what's interesting is the fact that no other team also doesn't want Matt Araiza. You would think that if he was this incredible punter with zero off-the-field issues or was totally free of the off-the-field issues, some team would go ahead and make that move. They do their due diligence. We've talked about this a lot here on this show. However, the fact that Philadelphia, who doesn't even have a punter on the roster right now, at least as of filming, and other NFL teams who are punter needy have not brought him in, tells you there might be a little something more that teams are uncomfortable with, hence why they're not bringing in the punt guy. Now, there is a punter who just was released by the Pittsburgh Steelers, who Philadelphia did try to go ahead and get during the last waiver period in 2022, and his name is Braden Mann. He was, of course, a Pittsburgh Steeler. You see there from Tom Pelissero, and of course, Tyler Zoll has a great tweet here saying, "Come on down, you're the next contestant on Be the Eagles punter." Now, they have not made an official signing or even offer to this guy as of filming late in a Wednesday afternoon, but if anything were to happen, we'll go ahead and cover it here. So be sure to subscribe by hitting the red subscribe button and giving the show a thumbs up. Now, a little bit about Braden. If they were to go ahead and sign him, or maybe you're watching the show and they already have, only 9 punts during the 2023 season, did have a long of 61, averaged about 46.8, and had 5 punts inside the 20. And honestly, after what Aaron Sipos did, especially the latter half of the year when he came back from the injury, this would be a welcome upgrade for Philadelphia. I expect them to either make this move or another punter move very, very soon. Now, practice squad signings are happening basically every single minute right now throughout the National Football League. We have a couple of updates on what Philadelphia has done and what they have not done, more specifically who they've lost. You see it here, Tyree Jackson, your massive former quarterback turned tight end, who everyone thought was going to be a great tight end for Philadelphia. Not only was he released, he has now been signed to the Giants practice squad per a source to Tom Pelissero. Jackson, of course, stays inside the division, but will not be on the Eagles roster, and this seemingly makes a lot of sense because they did go out and sign big Albert O just yesterday, the Denver Broncos 2020 draft pick, who is absolutely massive and could be a real, potential project for Philadelphia going over the next couple of seasons. Another player who also is gone is Kayvon Wallace. Obviously, had a real chance to start for Philadelphia. The safety spot this year, was doing so for a little bit of the season, and then, of course, cut yesterday. He is signed with Jonathan Gannon's practice squad over there at the Arizona Cardinals, which honestly makes a lot of sense. One, they not necessarily have a lot of talent over there at the Arizona Cardinals. They will be tanking this season, and Gannon, he's seen Kayvon Wallace firsthand, very clearly thinks highly of him, and went ahead and made the move for number 42. I wish him the best of luck. I really thought he was going to have a chance to make a spot on this roster. I think Justin Evans, obviously, who did make the roster, played way, way better, a little bit more versatile, being able to return some kicks, and Sidney Brown, we can't overlook him, was absolutely fantastic, especially the final 2 weeks, the final 2 preseason games. That was a big, big factor in him staying and signing with him staying, and of course, you see the result of Kayvon Wallace going ahead and being let go. Now, this hasn't happened yet, and as of filming this right now, things can change by the time you watch this, but there is mutual interest, according to Jake Rabati of Birds Country, between Nicholas Morrow and the Eagles on a reunion, likely on the practice squad. Morrow's not subject to waivers and is a free agent to sign with teams as soon as the move has been made official. He didn't have a strong market in free agency before signing with Philadelphia, and so bringing him back to the practice squad could make some sense in case Philadelphia were to have injuries at linebacker. That way they have someone familiar, at least, with the Sean Desai system, obviously with the Chicago Bears last year, but now Desai here during training camp. It would just make sense for both sides, especially if, as the tweet says, there isn't really a mutual, interest from other teams in the National Football League. Go back to where you were actually familiar, try and grow the season on the practice squad, maybe play a little bit if someone gets hurt, but try and make the roster going into 2023. Now, it's not all bad news in terms of players who have left the practice squad and gone to sign with other football teams. Philadelphia has made a couple of moves here. Most importantly, all the ones we were hoping for yesterday. They did go ahead and sign Britton Covey to the practice squad. They did sign returner Devon Allen to the practice squad, and they did go ahead and sign wide receiver Greg Ward to the practice squad as well, all of which will have potential opportunities to be activated on game day if there were to be any sort of injuries, or if Philadelphia needed some help, say at the punt return spot or the kick return spot, as we know that they desperately do. All three of these players have shown progress, at least this past training camp. Britton Covey played a ton in 2022. I expect him to be called up a bunch. Greg Ward is obviously a sixth-year undrafted free agent, seasoned veteran of the Philadelphia Eagles. And then you have Devon Allen, the ultimate project that everyone wants to become Devin Hester, despite the fact that he's never really returned that many kicks, except for the one he did a pretty good job in that Colts game. Very good news here from Jeff McMullen. You love to see that Philadelphia is bringing back some of their key cuts they made yesterday, who we all hope would go ahead and make the 16-team practice squad. Now, again, as of right now, here are your practice squad signings, right? This is not the full list because there will be a lot more. We'll have that probably tonight during the Wednesday Link Live. Devon Allen, Greg Ward, Britton Covey. You have Julian Good-Jones coming back. Kyron Johnson, who did have a pretty good training camp. I'm not shocked that he came back. And the tight end Brady Russell, which is interesting. The fact that they go ahead and keep a fourth tight end, or really a fifth tight end on this roster. This, Albert O. They have Jack Stoll in the final year of his contract, Grant Calcaterra, and obviously Dallas Goedert. But it does make sense for them to go ahead and bring back a guy like Brady Russell to at least the practice squad, who hopefully can grow and become either just a really good practice squad player or maybe even make the official roster if injuries were to allow it. Now, very quickly here, before we go ahead and move on to the Derek Barnett situation, I do want to mention, remember that mystery team we kept talking about regarding Jonathan Taylor and the Colts and how we thought it was Philadelphia? There were two teams. It was obviously the Dolphins and maybe the Eagles. Well, ESPN Adam Schefter has revealed the mystery team, and he says it was the Green Bay Packers who tried to trade for running back Jonathan Taylor. What? What are the Green Bay Packers doing trying to trade for Jonathan Taylor when they already have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon? Like, okay, well, this is a very weird move here. But it does show you that maybe the reports of Philadelphia being heavily interested, I talked about it here on my show, weren't true. They were just smoke. Philadelphia did make a phone call. Were they just sniffing around? Who actually knows? But it appears that that second mystery team that I really thought was Philadelphia, called myself out, I was wrong on that one. It was a team none of us would have predicted. It was the Green Bay Packers. Now, one move that did not happen yesterday, and it wasn't a Jonathan Taylor trade, it wasn't a cut, it was Derek Barnett staying on the roster. He made the final 53-man roster, and even though he was at least granted permission to go ahead and look for a trade, according to ESPN and obviously Howie Roseman spoke yesterday following the roster moves and basically had a lot of love for Derek Barnett.
A tremendous respect for Derek and the player and person he is and what he brings to this football team, and love having him here. That's why we bring him back, and that's a position for us. What you see with the 53-man roster, it's a priority, and so we're going to keep as many of those guys as we possibly can. Last year we got in a little bit of a bind and had to give a pick and had to sign guys in the middle of the year, and so for us, having those guys lets us sleep a little bit better at night, and Derek's certainly one of those guys.
It's exactly as I thought going into this, right? They want to keep him. They think he has pass rush ability and pass rush talent, and they always want to have as many pass rushers as possible on this roster, even with a guy like Hassan Reddick, thumb injury, playing week one, but still, you need some depth there just in case some things were to go ahead and happen. Does that mean that a trade is impossible and not going to happen? No. I mean, obviously, there's an NFL trade deadline, happens midway through the NFL season. There's a good chance there that he could go ahead and be moved if the playing time continues to be very, very low. But if I was GM Howie Roseman, or I was the Eagles defensive coordinator Sean Desai, I would tell Barnett it's very simple. Play well, you'll play more. That you play well will give you more playing time. If you don't play so well, you're going to get less playing time, and you might not find more playing time on another team if you don't continue to play well. So my hope is that Barnett buckles his chin strap, gets on that football field, plays his heart out, and honestly earns himself a new contract either with Philadelphia after the season or with another football team who will go ahead and play him more. That's going to be the fascinating storyline, I think, of the next couple of days and weeks is, are they officially keeping Barnett, or will a team swoop in that does still feel pass rusher needy and go out and make a move for him? Now, as I I mentioned, I waited a long time today to go ahead and launch this video because I kept waiting for the final full practice squad list to be revealed. In Philadelphia, they're taking their sweet time, like a lot of other NFL teams are doing. But my expectation is tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, the Wednesday Link Live, myself and Josh Davis, we will have the full 16, 17 team or player practice squad list during that show. That's the whole expectation. We're also going to be giving away an autographed piece of memorabilia as well regarding the Philadelphia Eagles. If you want to be a part of that, we try to do as many giveaways as possible during our live shows. Definitely join tonight. Hit that subscribe button. I'm Thomas Mott, trying to keep you guys covered with as much possible regarding the Philadelphia Eagles and the rest of the National Football League. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.